Well, hey y'all, I'm back in the kitchen. I have had several requests for some tomato gravy recipe. So I'm going to do one of them that we like because I am cooking breakfast for supper today. So that was my bacon grease. Hold on. Okay, so I didn't have any flour in my canister. And it doesn't matter if you use all-purpose, self-rising, it just doesn't matter. And I'm going to add some flour to this bacon grease. And I try to use equal parts flour as I do grease for my gravy. That's how I do it. But you're going to just cook this flour and grease down. You got to cook that flour taste out of it. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to let it get brown as I want it. I don't let it get too brown for my tomato gravy. So put my flour in my canister. And I normally like to use whole tomatoes, but I don't have any. I thought I had a can. I just did a Walmart delivery too, if I'd have known. But instead, I'm just using a can of diced tomatoes because that's all I've got. So around here, we use what we have. So I'm continuing to cook this until it gets a little bit darker than this. Okay, so now that I've got it as brown as I want it, I'm going to go ahead and dump my can of tomatoes.
Hey.
You want to say hey?
Uh-huh.
Go right here. Come right here where I'm standing.
Hey.
Okay. He wanted to say hey, y'all. They just came in from school. So I like to put my tomatoes in first before I add my liquid. And now I'm going in with chicken broth. You can go with water. You can go whatever you want. I just like to use chicken broth. And then you're just going to continue to stir it until you get it the consistency that you want it to be.
Mama. What is this?
That's a cake stand.
Oh, I gotta make a cake.
Yeah, we'll make a cake.
For what? Huh?
And so as you can see, it's loose, but it's going to thicken. The more it cooks, the more it'll thicken. So I'm going to add a little bit more broth. And I'm going to go ahead and add my salt. Black pepper. And I like to use that big flake of black pepper in my, and a little bit of, just a little garlic powder. I know a lot of people don't like garlic powder in theirs, but we love it. So as you can see, it's starting to thicken more. And as it thickens, I'll add more liquid, like I said, until I get it to the consistency that I want it to be. Okay, so I ended up using this whole container of chicken broth, and I'm just going to continue to let this cook. And you know, as gravy cools, it'll thicken up. So if I got it too thin, which I didn't, this is going to be perfect when it cooks. But once it cools, it'll thicken up even more. So, and that, my friends, is the tomato gravy. Okay, so I got supper cooked. We having breakfast for supper. So here's my biscuit with my tomato gravy. Delicious. I scrambled some eggs, cooked some pan sausage, cooked some bacon. Anyways, that's our supper for tonight. Love y'all. Have a blessed night.